The Moondrop Space Travel 2. I actually tried the Moondrop Space Travel 1, I don't know when, like a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. I actually like that sound. It sounded very balanced. I just thought it's very good for its price range. And now they have the 2 version, is it? Not the 2 version, but the Moondrop Space Travel 2. Is it an upgrade or are you better off with the first generation? Good day guys, this is Practiphile, and yeah, today we're gonna take a look at here the Moondrop Space Travel 2. Thank you so much Shenzhen Audio for sending this in for a review. My thoughts are my own. They didn't say anything about what to say or what to do during my review. So yeah, these are currently priced around like $30, I guess, like yeah, $30, $29. So pretty inexpensive. I mean, like it's still pricey, but considering the functions that it has, and I will explain that later, I think this is hard to beat. I think this is hard, like even for the first one, the Moondrop Space Travel 1, it was already good for that time. And have they improved? Let's talk about it. So moving on with the unboxing, it comes with this box here, pretty simple. It came with, of course, this one here, the case, the earbuds, some ear tips, charging cable, and that's it. Really nothing to talk about. It's 30 bucks, you can't really complain, right? Because what we're after for are the functions of this one here. Because right now, I think they, it's still a single DD, beryllium coated diaphragm, or plated diaphragm. It now has a Bluetooth 6, and the range is 10 meters. I have never really tested it, like, but it's far. 10 meters, yeah, I mean, like, I don't really get any hiccups or something using it, like when I'm walking around, even going outside to throw poop. It supports SBC and AEC. And I'm not sure about the charging case or the MEH for the first one, but this time it has a 380 milliamperes of battery, so I'm not sure if it's an upgrade. But let me tell you, I have not charged this yet. I mean, I use this almost every day to, you know, like watch videos on YouTube, and I have not charged it. Maybe it's time for me to charge this. Like, I didn't really feel the need to charge it because it didn't say anything about, like, you know, low battery or something. It did say that the earphones themselves, like the earphones are 7 hours of battery, and with the charging case it's 24 hours, so that's pretty significant, I guess. Not the best, because I think there are, I think I reviewed something that is like 40 hours battery life or something. It now has 55 ms low latency in game mode. I do think that, like, even watching videos, I do think that there is less latency in there. Like, it feels like there's no disconnect with the mouth movement and the speech, you know, like, if you know what I mean. Like, because if I say, for example, Kasich Carol, when I, you know, watch videos on that, like, I can feel there's a little bit or a significant delay in speech to mouth movement, if that makes sense. It also now has an AI, it still has ANC that, you know, ANC is fine. I mean, like, I don't really use ANC. Like, when I calls, I prefer, I don't know, like, I prefer doing this with my phone rather than using the earbuds, because I don't know, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's different for you. Now, the best part about the Moondrop is actually its app function, the Moondrop Link. Because the Moondrop Link is just, you know, like, you can basically turn this into like different Moondrop IAMs, because the tunings are there. Like, a lot of people upload different graphs of different Moondrop sets, and you basically can turn this technically, well, not really sound exactly the same, but at least close to what the tunings of those sets. Like, say for example, you know, like Aria or like the Blessing or the Variation, stuff like that. You can actually do custom PEQ settings in there, or you can also use your own PEQ settings. Now, what do I think about the sound? Okay. Disclaimer, my unit graphs different, and I informed the rep about this, and they said that it's maybe just my testing. Now, if you go to Squig, there are, I think, the 4 of us that's graphed the Moondrop Space Travel 2. One is Reviews, and the other one is unheardlab.com. I don't know who that is, but Unheard Lab. So basically, both of them kind of like share the same frequency response. It's like very neutral in the bass, good elevation in the upper mids, and then a sudden decline in a treble. Mine, however, is reminiscent to what Reagan Cypher on Squig. I mean, it's the same glide on the bass, like on the mids, and probably just the upper mids is a little bit different because my unit has a cut around 6K, and like Mark's and the other one, just they don't have that cut. It's just very smooth. It looks like Truth Ear almost, like kind of tuning, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's a disclaimer there. So I will be reviewing this set here based on how it's graphed on my unit. So you might have, I don't know, like maybe there are different probably unit variations. But if you look at the Moondrop page and look at the graph on the company site actually has a cut around 6K. So I'm thinking maybe this kind of the graphing that I did is actually close to what they're aiming for. So who knows? All right, so yeah, let's just talk about the overall signature. It's, well, you can choose the signature of course, but just stock, it's pretty, I would say not really bright. It's just bass light. It's just bass light. Or maybe I'm just gonna talk about the bass plus because this one makes more sense to me. So the bass plus here makes more sense because I'm gonna listen to it anyway. I don't wanna listen to the normal one and the lesser bass. If I use the Space Travel 2, it's probably on the bass plus. So this sounds, well, still balanced, but there's some energy there in the upper mids. Very good clarity on the vocals, very clean mids. Bass is just enough, you know, like just enough to complement the signature. It's not the bass head. It's also not for treble head. Treble here, it's not really dark. Just enough presence for everything. Just enough. Moondrop Space Travel 2, it's just enough. So again, with the bass here, you can see there that there is, you know, like a little bit of elevation there in the mid bass. Yeah, a little bit punchy. I don't see any bleeding there in the mids. It's not bloated out of any sort from the mid bass. It's just clean. If you think that it's, you know, like the bass plus is too much for you, then you can go to stock, which is like, for me, it's just too less really. I prefer really having that 5 or like how many? 3 or 4 dB of added bass in there. It just makes the overall signature more engaging. Mids, again, as I've mentioned, they're clean sounding, natural sounding. I didn't hear any unnatural timbre or anything. Female vocals, male vocals, instruments sound okay. Treble, yeah, about the treble. Well, in the graph, it does look like a little bit dark, but it's actually just enough. It's just maybe because of that upper mids elevation in there that, you know, it supplements the lack. I like the way that it doesn't really have any peaks past 10K. What I mean by that is, of course, you can see there's a peak there, but it's not really that. It's not piercing in nature, at least for me. So yeah, just enough treble sparkle in there. Well, you don't really expect this to be a detail monster because it's a single DD, and man, this is like 30 bucks. Technicalities, well, it sounds natural, just enough air, just enough detail retrieval, but again, 30 bucks with the app function, custom EQ. This is actually good. So let's just move on now to the comparisons here. What I have here, maybe the one that I can think of would be the Carol right there. So as you can see there, the Carol would sound what, like maybe brighter? No, but that's just on graphs. I don't know, but it looks like, yeah, I'd probably choose the Space Travel here. It just sounds smoother overall. It sounds more balanced. The Carol, although, sounds very good. I mean, this has been, like, the Carol has been one of my recommendations on a budget, but, you know, like Space Travel 2, man, why didn't I suggest Space Travel 1 though? Well, maybe the Carol is still cheaper. No, it's actually the same. It's still around that price range. So yeah, it has an app function. It's just better. Forget about the KZ Carol. KZ, you need to up your game. Moondrop, Space Travel, it is. Another one is Soundpeats Air 5 Pro. Right there. So as you can see, like it's squiggly, like on graphs, you probably know which one I'd pick. Like it's just smoother overall. There's a tuck on the Air 5 Pro. The Air 5 Pro is more suitable for probably like watching movies because of that tuck in there. The bass is very separated. It almost sounds like subwoofers on a theater system. It's very immersive, but for music playback, I feel like the bass is too detached for my preference. So although the Soundpeats Air 5 Pro has longer battery life, and I think this is how much, like 40 bucks, I guess. Value-wise, value proposition, I still think that the Moondrop Space Travel wins it for me because of the app and the overall function. And last one probably is the Roselsa Ceramics X. Right there. As you can see, the Ceramics X is also kind of like has a smoother graph, except for that upper mids energy. No, not the upper mids, like on the treble past 10K. So, I mean, like I use the Ceramics X every day listening to YouTube as well because they're small. They also have actually very, very good sound quality. So if you feel like you're leaning more on a brighter signature, I think the Ceramics X would be a good fit. But if you want vocal clarity and just overall balance, I think the Space Travel 2 is the best TWS to pick. Also, the Ceramics X doesn't have a PEQ and an app. I mean, maybe they have an app, but you can't really do PEQ and stuff like that. So yeah, I think this is a good release from Moondrop. Tuning wise though, I do think that I still prefer the Moondrop Space Travel 1. I like looking at graphs. Let's see. I mean, I didn't graph it, but just looking at how it graphs, it's like, it looks good, you know. But then again, that's why I give a disclaimer, because my impressions might actually be different had I had a different measuring set. Like for example, if mine graph like from, you know, like Super Reviews and Unheard Labs, maybe I'd have a different impression. But yeah, I think this is going to be one of my default recommendations on TWS under $30. Moondrop Space Travel 2. It's a nice set. It's a nice TWS. Good value for money. See you next time. Bye for now.